Jayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Gaura Vishena Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sammoganasta Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Sumirataha Bale Vrindavan Vihari Lal ki jai, Varsani Wali ki jai, Jai Jai Sri Radharani, Jai Jai Sri Radharani, Jai Jai Sri Radharani. Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Haribo. Haribo. So my dear ones, today, because it's month of Sri Guranga Varanga, some new brothers have entered into the family of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they have received Harinam, but they don't know their new transcendental names. So we wanted to announce in the evening so everyone could give blessings to them. So I request that devotee, formerly known as Bhakta Eduardo, please stand up. So you should all give your blessings and keeping his name, not Edward, but Advaita Das Prabhu Ki. Now the devotee, formerly known as Jesus, please stand up. Already he had a spiritual name. Jesus. This is already a spiritual name. But in a different rasa. So today, we'll go into a deeper rasa. Not including all the previous rasas, but something extra. So I'm keeping your name. Achyutananda Das Ki Jai. And that person formerly known as Bhakta Pablo, please stand up. So I'm keeping your name. Paramananda Das Prabhu Ki Jai. Aho Bhagyam Nanda Gopa Prajokasam Yan Mitram Paramananda Purna Brahma Sanatana. Krishna is Purnananda, Paramananda. Oh, I would lose. Nama Shristam Manamapi Shachiputram Atra Surupam Rupam Tasya Krajamuri Purim Maturim Gostuvatim Radha Kunda Magirivaram O Radhika Madhavasam Raptoyas Pratitipaya Sri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikai Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hema Badibhyatschave Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhaktavina Aparana Lakshya Srivasya Pramari Kamantamati Kripamayikam Sharanam Prapana Vindena Smaraha Sumurali Manohara Radhika Rasakumama Kripanidhe Supriya Charana Kinkarin Kuru Tavayvasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Jirikyaya Devi Tam Namaham Charantrikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers, thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmatiya Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Paravishta Om Vishnupad Ashto Tarasatasvi Rupanuracharya Varya Sila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, to Param Pujapad, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, Param Pujapad, Srila Bhakti Prabodh Puri Goswami Maharaj, Param Pujapad, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Nityalila Prishtam Vishnupad, Ashtodas Shimad Bhakti Bhagan Keshu Goswami Maharaj, and to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to Param Pujapad Sri Bhaktilok Paramadvaiti Goswami Maharaj, Sri Bhaktivedanta Yati Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vancha Kalpaturu Rasa, Kripa Sindhu Rasa, Putitanam Pavani, Vaishnav Devyo. Jai Shri Gurudeva Ki Jai! Sit in your translation groups, and when you are sitting comfortably, let me know. By the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and the Gauranga, yesterday we began the celebration of Sri Radhashtami Maha Mahotsava, the appearance day of Srimati Radhika. Perhaps you know that it is said that when Radhika was in the womb of Kirtidamaya, at that time Jogamaya Devi transferred Radhika from the womb of Kirtida to the womb of the wife of Vindhyachal, the Vindhya mountain. Why was this? Because the Himalayas, he became very proud that he had a very qualified son-in-law, because the daughter of the Himalayas is Parvati. And Parvati married Mahadev, Lord Shiva. So he was very proud of his son-in-law. And Vindhyachal, another mountain, the god of another mountain, he became somewhat in a spirit of competition with Himachal. He could not tolerate the glory of even his own caste of mountains, or to speak of outside his group. So he did austerities to please Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma said, I'll give you a benediction, what you want. He said, I want to have a son-in-law who's more famous than his son-in-law. So how can you have a son-in-law who's more famous than Shiva and more qualified than Lord Shiva? Only Bhagavan himself is more qualified than Lord Shiva. So that meant that Vindhyachal would have to have a daughter who was the consort of Krishna. So Brahmaji blessed him, and Yogamaya transferred Radhika from the womb of Kirtidamaya to the womb of the wife of Vindhyachal. Also Chandravali was transferred and kept there also. And she had the twins. So at that time, Radhika and Chandravali were twin sisters. But they did not know it. Why? Because Vindhyachal, he wanted to also become taller than the Himalayas. So he was doing austerities and he was getting bigger and bigger, and he became so big he was blocking out the sun. So to save the people, Agastya Muni came there. And when Vindhyachal saw Agastya Muni, he gave Dandavat Pranams. And Agastya Muni told him, just stay there till I get back. And then Agastya Muni, he went away and he never came back. So Vindhyachal is not so high as the Himalayas, but very long. So Vindhyachal was lying down when Krishna appeared. At that time, Narad Muni, he told Kamsa Maharaj, Vishnu, who killed you in your previous life when you were Kalanemi, will appear in this world. And he will also appear along with 5 Shaktis. So when Kamsa Maharaj heard this, then he was thinking, I'll kill Vishnu. So he sent Putana to go everywhere and kill all the children who were born within 10 days before and 10 days afterwards, just to make sure. And he told Putana, kill the boys, but you should collect the girls. Because you can find the Shaktis of the Supreme Lord and then bring them to me and I will enjoy the Lord Shaktis. So this is the nature of the demons. They have no Seva-vritti, spirit of service. They have only Bhoga-vritti, the spirit of enjoyment, the spirit of exploitation of the Supreme Lord's energy. Everything is the energy of the Supreme Lord. There is nothing in existence which is not the energy of the Supreme Lord. There is nothing in existence which is not the paraphernalia for his enjoyment. There is nothing in existence which does not exist for the sake of Sri Krishna, including you and me. Our very souls, the Atma, we are manifested from the Paramatma for the sake of Krishna's service. Jivera Surupoi Krishna Nitya Das. But those who are in illusion, in Rajas and Tamas, they have the Asur Bhav, demonic mentality. They always want to enjoy the energies of the Lord. And Kamsa Maharaj, he wanted to directly enjoy the female Shaktis of the Lord. So Putana was going everywhere, killing the baby boys. But you know that the demons had taken birth on earth at that time to assist the demons in their battle against the devotees. So by the arrangement of Yogamaya, wherever Putana went and killed some children, those were the demons. So in this way, in Krishna's Leela, the Leela Shakti is using one thorn to remove another thorn. So don't worry about Putana killing the children. It was from her own demon group. So when Putana was going everywhere, she came to Vindhyachal and saw the baby girls Radhika and Chandravali. And she kidnapped them. Then, when the Putana was flying away, Vindhyachal was lying down, he could not get up because of the order of Agastya Rishi. So then he told his brahmanas, chant the anti-Rakshasi mantras to protect my children. So, he protected the brahmanas. They chanted the anti-Rakshasa mantra. And the Putana dropped Chandravali. And Chandravali was found by Bhishmaka, and she became the daughter of Bhishmak Maharaj. And so that is Rukmini. She's not different from Rukmini. So later Jambavan caught her on the order of Yogamaya and brought her to Braj, and then she grew up in Braj as Chandravali, as Radharani's rival. But they did not know that they were sisters, according to that birth, as the daughters of Vindhyachal mountain. And when Putana also, she dropped Radhika, and Purnamasi Devi bought Radhika and gave her to Mukara. Now Mukara is Radharani's grandmother. And she's so close to Krishna's family that when Mother Yashoda was a baby, she used to breastfeed Mother Yashoda with her own breast milk. So there's a very close relationship between Radhika's grandmother and Krishna's mother. And then Mukara gave Radhika to Kirtida Maya. So this history has been described. It's mentioned, just touched in some Puranas, but especially it's been described in detail in the Lilit Madhav of Srila Rupa Goswami. But you should know that this lila happens in certain kalpas. It is a naimatic lila. It's not a lila that happens every day of Lord Brahma. And this is a naimatic lila for the sake of that drama of Lalit Madhav. So yesterday we were discussing how the king Suchandra Maharaj and his wife Kalavati, they did austerities in a previous life to get the Supreme Lakshmi as their daughter. They entered into Vrishabhanu Maharaj and Kirtida Maya, and Vrishabhanu Maharaj found Radhika on a lotus flower, and Lord Brahma came and said, "Oh, this is your daughter. You have done austerities in a previous life that the Supreme Lakshmi will be your daughter. You should take care of her." So Vrishabhanu Maharaj took her home. So most of the people see Radhika in this way. But we Gaudiyas, the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the followers especially of Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, because our relationship with Krishna and the relationship with the Radhika is of natural love, lokik sadbandhu bhat sambandha, like the loving relationship you'd have with your own family member or bosom friend. So we never have in our meditation these types of opulent pastimes. So in Bhakti Ratnakar, and also in the Brajavilas, there it's described that Radhika has appeared like a natural child from the womb of Kirtida Maya. So in this way, we told two ways of Radhika's appearance yesterday, and another way of Radhika's appearance in different kalpas described in Lalit Madhav of Rupa Goswami. So it is said, Kalpa Vedeshu Harikata Subhava. In different kalpas, then Krishna and Radhika do their lila in different ways. And so if you see in the scripture apparently contradictory explanations, then you should understand that there's no fault in the scripture, there's no contradiction, only this is an explanation of a pastime from another kalpa. So yesterday we were hearing from the Briyat Gautamiya Tantra, and there it is mentioned, Sava Lakshmi Mai Sarvakantim Sammohim Para. Radharani is Sava Lakshmi Mai. That means that as Srimati Radhika is the Purna Shakti, the complete potency of Krishna, and as all the avatars are the expansions, the ansas, the Vilas Roop, the Vaibhav Prakash Roops, the Tadekatma Roop of Krishna, various ansas of Krishna. So similarly, all the goddesses, they are the various answers or portions of Srimati Radhika. So the various goddesses are of three levels. The Lakshmi Devis in Vaikuntha, the queens in Dwarka, and the gopis are in Vrindavan. So the Lakshmi Devis in Vaikuntha, and every Vaikuntha planet, there is one Lakshmi Devi presiding in each Vaikuntha planet. So the Lakshmi Devis are called the Vaibhav Vilas of Srimati Radharani. And then the queens in Dwarka. Dwarka is Maha Vaikuntha. It is superior to the Vaikunthas of Lord Narayan. Why? Because on each planet of Lord Narayan there's one Lakshmi. But in Dwarka there are 16,108 Lakshmis. And they are superior to the Mahalakshmi of Vaikuntha because they are Radhika's Vaibhav Prakash. So Lakshmi Devi is the Vaibhav Vilas, and because the Vilas Vigraha have 4 arms. And the 2 arm forms of Radhika's expansions in Dwarka, they are Vaibhav Prakash. And the gopis of Vrindavan, they are Radhika's Kaya Vyuha. That means direct bodily expansions. Radhara Swarupa Krishna Prema Kalpalata Lalita Sakigana Hoy Tarapala Pushpapata. Radharani is like a creeper. Krishna Prema Kalpalata. Just as there can be a magical wish-fulfilling creeper. So Radhika is the magical wish-fulfilling creeper of prema, because she fulfills all the desires of Krishna. And Lalita, Vishaka, and other gopis, they are all the Palav Pushpapata, that means the leaves, the flowers, and the manjaris, the small buds, which are just appearing. So, Mahabhav Chintamani Radhara Surup Lalitadi Saki Tarakaya Vyuharup. Radhika is also called the Mahabhav Chintamani. She's made of the highest love, Mahabhav. And just as a Chintamani can fulfill all desires, whatever desires in the heart of Krishna, Radhika can fulfill. And whatever desires are also not in the heart of Krishna, Radhika will make them appear and then fulfill them. Krishna even gets more desires that he never knew he had by the association of Srimati Radhika. So Mahabhav Chintamani Radhara Sarup Lalitadi Saki Tara Kaya Vyuharup. The gopis are Radhika's expansions. She has so many moods of love for Krishna. And each one of these moods has a murti, a vigraha. So each one of the gopis of Vrindavan is the vigraha, the murti of one of the special moods of Srimati Radhika. So persons who say, Lord Ram is very good because he is ekapatni bharat. He has a vow to only love one woman, that is Sita. But Krishna is very bad. In Dwarka he has 16,108 wives, but in Vrindavan he has Shatakoti, Gopi, Madhavama, and hundreds of millions of gopis. We say, no, no, no. Krishna is even more chaste than Lord Ram. He's even more dharmic than Lord Ram. By the Prem Dharma. By Prem Dharma. Why is that? Because in Ram Leela, no one loves Krishna more than Sita. So he's completely dedicated to her. But in Krishna Leela, every single gopi of Braj has more love than Sita Devi. Everyone. There's not one gopi in Braj who doesn't have more love than Sita Devi. And Krishna has promised, I reciprocate with everyone. So see, Krishna has to reciprocate with every single gopi of Braja. Because they see Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam. His love is expressed within the boundaries of Maryada, proper etiquette and the rules of Dharma. But Krishna is Leela Purushottam. He takes Dharma like a football and kicks it very far away. And he only acts according to Leela. What will make more rasa, more prem? So he is Leela Purushottam. So he is reciprocating with all the Braja Gopis. But still, when Radhika leaves the Rasa Leela, then Krishna abandons all the gopis to be alone with Radhika, even though each and every one of them loves him much more than Sita. And even though his nature is Leela Purushottam, and even though his nature is to reciprocate with everyone, but he leaves them all only to be alone and serve Srimati Radhika. So we think that Krishna is the most chaste person. He has more ekapatni brata, even the Lord Ram. And on top of that, if we look at the situation from the perspective of tattva vichar, of metaphysics, of ontology, every single gopi is herself Radhika's own expansion. So it's not that Krishna has many, many lovers. He has one lover, Radhika, and Radhika has many, many forms only to please him. Krishna Kanta Shiramani, to Sarva Kanta, that means she fulfills all of Krishna's desires. Why? Because Bahu Kanta Bina Nahi Rasera Ulas Leela Rasa Hoy Lagi Bahuta Prakash. Unless there are many lovers, then the rasa cannot go to the highest point. It's very very deep point. Because all of these gopis, they are actually in competition for Krishna's attention. So if you have a school and one boy in the class is very intelligent, but all the others are very low IQ, kind of room temperature IQ, then that boy will not work very hard because he'll be top of the class even without studying. But if there are many boys in that class who are very intelligent, then every night they're staying awake throughout the whole night studying to try to become the top of the class. So where there's competition, everyone is benefited from this. So in Vrindavan, Radhika has become so many gopis. The various groups of gopis are in competition with each other, competing in praying. And who is the winner? Krishna. Krishna benefits from that is called Prema Prayojana. Prema Prayojana, the competition of love. So in this way, Radhika has manifested all the forms of Braja gopis to please Krishna. So now, Ramananda Rai explained to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Swarup of Radharani. That Radharani is made of Mahabhav, and in her transcendental form, she has Astasattvic bhavs, 8 ecstatic symptoms of becoming stunned, perspiration, trembling, the fading of the color, the choking of the voice, the tears flowing from her eyes. So in this way, Astasattvic bhavs are manifested in her body. And also, she's decorated with Sola Shringar, 16 types of golden ornaments. And Dwadash Abharan, that means 12 types of cosmetics. But don't think that her ornaments and cosmetics are made of gold or silver or some chemicals. So, the earrings of Radharani, they are made of what? Love. The greed to hear about the qualities of Krishna. So because Radhika's ears are always greedy to hear the qualities of Krishna, they are very beautiful, and that greed is manifest in the form of her earrings. The lipstick on her lips, the tambour rag, this is not only the red juice coming from the chewed tambour, but this is her rag, her deep attachment for Sri Krishna. The kajal, the eyeliner, the black eyeliner under her eyes is not, we cannot say it is made only of blunt black, but this is her praying kutilya. That means the crookedness of her love, because those who are crooked are black. Krishna is Sham Sundar, so he's very crooked, he's Tribhanga. And he has Sham, dark complexion, like a fresh rain cloud. So her black kajal is a color like Krishna, and so that's the crookedness of her brain. So in this way, Radhika is called the Mahabhav Swarup. She's decorated also with 20 Binsati Bhava Lankar, 20 emotional ornaments. In classical Rasa Shastra, these 20 emotional ornaments have been described, but Radhika has 2 more, Chakit and Mugdha, in addition to the 20 classical emotional ornaments, Bhav, Bhav, Hela, Shobha, Dipti, Kanti, the Vichiti, Vilas, Vibram, Motaita, Kila, Kinchit, Kutamita, and so on. And Radhika is also wearing a garland. And the garland, the flowers in her garland are her 25 prominent qualities. So Srila Rupa Goswami, now we're coming to our subject for today. Subject today is the 25 prominent qualities of Radhika. Actually, she has unlimited qualities, but these 25 are very prominent. And that is manifest as her garland. So Rupa Goswami has explained, Madhuryayam navavaya chalapangujjala smita charu sobhagyari kadhya gandun maditamadava. Sangita Parasabhikya Ramyavanna Mapandita Vinita Karuna Purna Vidagda Patamandita Lajasila Sumaryadha Darya Gambirya Shalini Vinita Suvilasa Mahabhava Paramutkarsha Tarshini Gokula Prema Vasitir Jagat Shrini Lasadyashaha Gurva Pita Guru Smeha Saki Pranayita Vashaha Krishna Priyavali Mukhya Santa Tashrava Keshava. So these are the 25 prominent qualities of Srimati Radhika. They're divided into 4 categories. The first categories are the qualities of Radhika's anga, of her body. Then the next qualities are the qualities of Radhika's speech, vak. Then the next qualities are the qualities of Radhika's mind. And the last qualities are the qualities of Radhika's relationships with different types of people, such as her superiors, her friends, and Krishna and so on. And all the residents of Braj. So today and tomorrow we want to remember the 25 qualities of Radhika. So we'll begin at the beginning. First of all, Madhurjayam. That means sweetness. Radhika is very, very sweet. Sweetness has been described. Madhurjam. Madhurnam nama chasthanam. Avasta sarvavastasu charuta. The person who in every moment, in every movement, in every activity that they perform, they're exquisitely beautiful, and that beauty is increasing at each moment. So this is called Madhurya. Madhuryayam Navavaya. Navavaya means that Radhika is eternally in the adolescent stage. She's not a child and she's not fully adult, but in the adolescent stage, moving towards adult. This is called Navavaya. So this is very beautiful, because when Radhika is a little girl, then her eyes are steady, but her body is restless, running around here and there when she's a little girl. And she's a little bit round here. So, but when she goes into Navavaya, then the roundness of her belly is stolen by her hips and her chest, and the waist becomes very thin. So Navavaya is very beautiful. And the restlessness, then she was always running around as a little girl. This was stolen by her eyes. Now eyes became very restless. So in the stage Navavaya, she becomes so extraordinarily beautiful. So Madhuryayam Navavaya Chalapangu Smita. The next quality is that Chalapanga means the eyes are just like a deer in the forest. A female deer in the forest, a doe, has very, very big eyes. And if they hear a sound, then they're looking here and there very quickly. So Radhika's eyes are like that. One time Krishna came to Radhika. Oh, I'm thinking. Chalapanga Ujjvala Smrita. And the next one means the sweetness of her smile. Her smile is very, very bright, even if she smiles very slightly. And just a little bit of her teeth is showing. Then, oh. Kripayati yadi radha vadita shesha badha kim paravavashishtam mukti pushti maryada yorme yadi vadati chakinchit smeraha sudita sri jujavaramani pancha mukti sukcha tadakim. That is Gosaiji, the son of Vallabhacharya. That is Vittalnath. He has written this poem to Radhika. And he said, oh Radharani, if you will give just a little of your mercy to me, then all my obstacles in spiritual life will be washed away forever. Oh Radhika, if you will give just a little mercy to me, then what will be left for me to achieve on the path to Maryada Yorme? That means, in the Vallabh Sampradaya, Maryada Marg means Vaidhi Bhakti. And Pushti means Raganuga Bhakti. So there'll be nothing left for me to achieve on the path of Vaidhi Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. And oh Radhika, if you will just smile slightly and speak some sweet words to me, then I will see the shining of your beautiful teeth, which are like effulgent like kunda flowers. And then Dvijavaramani Pankya Mukti Suktya Tadakim. Then I will think mukti is insignificant and dry and pathetic. And I will reject mukti completely. So, how beautiful is the smile of Radhika? So here, Rupa Goswami said, Madhuryayam Navavaya Chalapungu Cholasmita. 4 qualities of Radhika's body. And all these 4 qualities and more, they have been described very beautifully in Radharasa Sudhinidhi by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati. There, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has prayed, may Madhuryam, the sweetness of Radhika, in 10 ways, always manifest in my meditation. Gaurange Mradima Smite Madhurima Netranchale Dragima Vakshudjay Garima Tataiva Tanima Majay Gato Mandima Sronyam Cha Pratima Bruvo Kutilima Bimbadare Shonima Siradheridite Rasena Jadima Dhyanestu me gochara. Dhyanestu me gochara. May 10 sweetnesses of Radhika manifest in the core of my heart. What is that? Gaurange Mradima. The first sweetness of Radhika is that her golden body is Mradima. Very, very soft. Once Rupa Manjari decorated a beautiful bed with jasmine flowers, and they also removed the stems as well and put the jasmine flowers on them. And then Radhika, after she was resting there, she got up, and on the back of Radhika and on the legs of Radhika, wherever she was lying down on those jasmine flowers, there was the imprint of each and every flower on her body. Gaurange Mradima. Rupa Manjari told her Saki, oh Saki, these jasmine flowers are too hard. We have to get a different type of flower next time. So how soft is the body of Radhika? This is very sweet. Gaurange Mradima Smite Madhurima. And the smile of Radhika is very sweet. Why? Because when Radhika is in the forest with her Sakis and she sees Krishna coming, then Lalita said, oh Radhika, Krishna is coming. Everyone, ignore him. So they all turn around from where he is and pretend to be picking flowers. You have to increase the Krishna's eagerness by playing hard to get. So Lalita Saki gives this instruction. Krishna's coming. Everyone ignore him. So they're picking flowers like this. So as Krishna approaches, then he sees Gaurange Mradima. How soft is the beautiful form of Radhika. Smite Madhurima. And the smile of Radhika. Why? Because when Radhika sees Krishna, she feels so overwhelmed with Madhuras, the romantic mood, that the Anubhav comes, the reaction, that means the outer manifestation of the feeling in her heart, that she will smile. But at the same time, because Lalita is telling, ignore Krishna, then another Sanchari Bhav comes. First, the Harsha, the joy, and Autsukya, eagerness to meet with Krishna. But because Lalita Saki told her to hide her mood, then Avahita Bhav comes, another wave of Sanchari Bhav. And because that is called Avahita, the concealment of emotion. So Radhika would smile so much, but because she's trying to conceal her emotions, she's trying to stop that smile from coming. So she smiles just slightly, and a little ray of her beautiful teeth is showing. Just a little. So then Vishaka Saki says, oh, when the moonbeams appear, then the chakora birds come running. You know, there's one type of bird that is a chakora, and it stays alive only by drinking moonbeams. So when a flash of light, a moonbeam, Chandrika, comes from the moon, then the chakora bird comes and eats that to stay alive. So in the same way, if Radhika just, she wants to smile, but Lalita is making her suppress the smile, and a little bit of her teeth are showing, then one Chandrika, just the Chandrika comes, and then the Chakora bird is running. Very, very thirsty to stay alive by drinking that Chandrika. That, who is the Chakora bird? Yamuna Jivana Keli Parayana Manasa Chandra Chakora. So Krishna is like a Chakora bird coming to drink the moonbeams of this smile of Radhika. So Gaurange Madhima Smite Madhurima Netranchale Dragima. Radharani is trying to ignore Krishna. So she's turning her face away from him. But her eyes are very big, almost reaching round to her ears. And when she's squinting her eyes a little, then it looks even longer. And when Radhika is turning away from Krishna, but she cannot help but look towards him quickly. Chalapangu Jwalasmita. Chalapanga means very restless eyes. Then the flash of the blue light of Radhika's eye comes from the side there. So at that point, Netranchale Dragima, the eyes of Radhika, one of her sweetnesses, the Dragima, the length of her beautiful lotus eyes. Vaksu Jay Garima, and all her body is very beautiful. Tathaiva Tanima, as she's turning away from Krishna, Krishna sees the slenderness of her waist. Madhyegato Mandima, and Radhika starts to walk away from Krishna. So Gato Madhye Mandima here means that her walking is very graceful and slow, like an elephant. You know, when an elephant walks, they're very heavy. So they step with one leg and then the whole body swings this side, and they step with the other leg and the body swings this side. So Radhika is called Gajagamini. When she walks, her hips are moving from side to side. So this is another sweetness of Radhika, and the quality of Navavaiha, her youthfulness, because she does not walk like this when she's in the Pauganda Lila, when she's a child. But when she becomes Kishori, now her walk is very attractive. Sonyam cha pratima bruvo kotilima, and her eyes are, that means her eyebrow is kutilima, very, very crooked. Because when Krishna approaches Radhika and catches her cloth, then she raises her eyebrow like that. So just as if you want to shoot an arrow from a bow, the bow is almost straight. But when you pull the arrow back, then the bow becomes bent. So when Radhika shoots the arrow of her glance towards Krishna of disapproval, then she raises her eyebrow, and it becomes like the two arches of a bow, shooting the arrow of her glance. Bimbadare Shonima, and the next sweetness is the redness of the lips of Radhika. So Krishna cannot, though Radhika is turning away and trying to get away from her, Krishna cannot resist, and he catches her and embraces her. So Sri Radhe Ridite Rosena Jadima, the final sweetness of Radhika is the Jadima. Jadima means inert, senselessness, when one becomes completely stunned. So Radhika's heart becomes completely stunned by the touch of Sri Krishna. So may the rasa of Radhika's stunned heart, dhyanes tu me gochara, come into my meditation. Srila Prabhupada Sasa Thakur is speaking in this way. So Madhuryayam Navavaya Chalapangu Cholasmita, these are the first 4 qualities of Radharani, of the 25 qualities. Then the next one, what is that? Charo Saubhagya Rekadhya. The next quality of Radhika's body is that she has 50 auspicious lines on her body. Just like we all have some birthmarks. We have some birthmarks here or there, or we have fingerprints and lines on our hand. So Radhika has very, very auspicious markings. She has 7 markings on her left foot, 8 markings on the right foot, 18 markings on the left hand and 17 markings on the right hand. So all these together make 50 auspicious marks on the lotus hands and feet of Srimati Radhika, such as the barley corn, the altar, the ankush, that is the gold. Just as a trainer of an elephant can control a mad elephant by taking the goad, it's like an iron hook, and they put it behind the ear because it's very soft there. And so the rider, who's very small, can control a big elephant. So in the same way, though Krishna is like a wild, mad elephant, and no one can control him, but Radhika can control him by the ankush of her man, of her sulky mood. So there's a flag, and the wheel, and fish, and triangle, and so many auspicious markings on the hands and feet of Srimati Radhika. And this is why during the Rasa Leela, when Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Leela and took Radhika with him, when the gopis were searching, they found the footprints of Krishna. And gradually, they noticed, oh, now next to the footprints of Krishna is a footprints of someone else. Anaya radito nunam Bhagavan Hari Ishwaraha Yanno Vihaya Govinda Pritoyam Anayadraha. Who has spoken this verse? A gopi is saying that, oh, this gopi, whose footprints these are, must have worshipped Krishna better than any of us, more than any of us, because Krishna has abandoned all of us just to be alone with her. So she's very fortunate. So Srila Shukadeva Goswami, he would not outwardly directly mention the name of Radharani, but when he got to this verse, he could not control himself, and he almost said the name of Radhika. Anaya radito nuna Bhagavan Hari Ishwara. When the gopis were following the footprints of Krishna and saw that other gopis' footprint, there were 4 types. Swapaksha, Radharani's own group. Surid Paksha, the group which are friendly to Radhika, led by Shamala. Then the Tatastha Paksha, neutral group, led by Bhadra. And then the Vipaksha, the anti-party, who are in competition with Radhika's group, that is led by Chandravali and her Sakis, Shailya and Padma. So, when all those gopis saw the footprints of Radhika, then one group of gopis have said, Anaya radito nunam. Oh, this gopi is the most glorious. Which group was it? It was not Radharani's own group Swapaksha. Why? Because when Radharani's own group saw the markings in the footprints of Radhika, they recognized her, and they was in so much ecstasy, that Krishna has left everyone to only be with our Swamini Radhika. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. So they were in so much ecstasy that they could not speak. So they have not spoken that verse. Anaya radito nunam. On the other hand, Chandravali's group also recognized the footprints of Radhika, and they were so jealous that they also could not speak. So they have not spoken this verse. The Tatastha group, the neutral group, because they're neutral, they don't care, so they wouldn't say anything. Because neutral people, those who are Tatastha, they don't care. So, never have Tatastha bhav, neutral bhav. Never have Tatastha bhav. This is the enemy of everything in bhakti. You should always have mamata, possessiveness. You should think, oh, this is my Gurudev, this is my Radha Krishna, my Radha Krishna's temple, oh, my Gurudev's mission, my Radha Krishna's mridanga, kartals, everything. I have mamata for everything connected with Guru and Sri Krishna. Otherwise, if you have Tatastha bhav, then many offenses will come. If kirtan is going on, then this is the kirtan of my Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I must run there at once and dance in the kirtan. Otherwise, if you have Tatastha bhav, then so Tatastha bhav is not good for bhakti. But here, these gopis, they're not Tatastha. They have attachment to their own group, but they're Tatastha towards Radhika's group. And they have friendship towards Chandravali's group. So they didn't say anything. So who is left? Only Shamala and the Surit Paksh. Because they have friendship with Radharani, but they're not so in such ecstasy that they cannot speak. So Shamala and her group have said, Anaya Radhito Nuna, and loudly proclaimed, as if by the beating of many kettle drums, that Radharani is supreme among all the Braja Gopis. So the fifth quality of Radhika is Charo Saubhagya Rekadya, that on her feet and her hands she has auspicious lines. Charo Saubhagya Rekadya Gandon Madita Madhava. The next quality of Radhika is Gandon Madita Madhava. That means that her fragrance makes Krishna become unmad, intoxicated. So once Radha and Krishna, they were with the Sakhis and they were playing in the forest of Vrindavan, and they want to play hide and seek. So Krishna said, alright, let's see if you can find me. So then Radhika sat down and Lalita Sakhi covered the eyes of Radharani and Krishna went to hide. But Lalita Sakhi covered Krishna's eyes like this. Radhika's eyes like this. So she could see where Krishna was hiding. So then they counted 3, 2, 1, and coming. And then Radhika went and she found Krishna. Oh Krishna, you are being defeated. Now it's my turn. See if you can find me. So then Krishna sat down and Lalita covered the eyes of Krishna fully, so he cannot see. And Radhika went to hide. So then Krishna, he got up and he was looking around. But then Vishaka said, oh Radhika, your hiding is completely useless. Why? Because your enemy has revealed your whereabouts. Just like if you have a traitor in your group and you're at war, then the enemy, the traitor will go and tell the enemy so they can defeat you. So she said, oh, your fragrance is like an enemy. Why? Because your fragrance is going and traveling to see Krishna and bringing you to him. Because bringing him to you. Because you are Madhavi. You know, one name of Krishna is Madhav. What is the significance of Madhav? It has many, many meanings. But Madhav means the beloved of Madhavi. There are 360 different types of heroines in Ujjwal Nilamani. The Abhisarika, Vasaksajja, Utkantita, Kandita, Vipralabdha, Kalahantrita, Prasita Bhatrika, Swadhin Bhatrika. There are many, 360 different types. But the highest type of heroine is called the Swadhina Bhatrika, who controls Krishna fully. And when the Swadhina Bhatrika is at its highest extent, when Krishna cannot be separated for Radhika from even a moment, he follows her around like a shadow and obeys her every wish. So then that heroine is called Madhavi. So Krishna's name Madhav is very full of Jai Radha Madhav. Very, very full of rasa, because it indicates that Krishna is the Delalit Nayak, like Cupid, like the god of love, and fully controlled by Madhavi, Radhika. So Gandun Madhava, Gandun Madhita Madhava, the fragrance of Krishna, of Radhika, is bewildering to see Krishna. So Vishaka Sakhi was saying, oh Radhika, you are like a jasmine flower, and Krishna is like a bumblebee. When the bumblebee catches the fragrance of the jasmine flower, the bumblebee becomes mad and comes running there. And then the jasmine flower will have to tremble. So in the same way, you are like a Madhavi, and Krishna is a Brahma. Brahma means a bumblebee, but Brahma also means a person who is very filled with so much desire as well. So Radhika is called, her quality is Gandun Madhita Madhava. Yasya Kadapi Vasananchala Kela Nutta Danyati Dhanya Pavanena Kritatamani Yogendra Durga Magati Marusudanopi Tasya Namostu Mrshobhanu Bhavod Shepi. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying, one day Radhika was on one side of Radhakund and she had refused to meet with Krishna. And Krishna came on the other side of Radhakund from far away. And he was sitting there and he was in a very great state of self-criticism, nirved, regret. Oh, I've made an offense to Radhika. And she's refusing to meet with me. But then the dear Samir, a very gentle breeze blew and picked up the corner of the cloth of Radhika. Like this. You see? And when the breeze just touched the corner of Radhika's cloth, then the breeze became intoxicated because the fragrance was so sweet. The fragrance of her body was transferred to her cloth, and then it was touched by the breeze, and now the breeze couldn't move very quickly because he was intoxicated, so the breeze was staggering across the surface of Radhakund. And then Krishna was sitting there, and he was in a state of regret, and Yasya kadapi vasananchala kelnutta dhanyati dhanya pavanena kritartamani. And the fragrance of Radhika was carried by the breeze and entered into the nostrils of Krishna. And when Krishna smelt that fragrance, dhanyati dhanya, today I am fortunate, I am so fortunate. My life has become a success. And he folded his hands and gave pranam to that breeze. Oh, thank you, breeze. Oh, dear Samir, gentle breeze, you are my real friend. My pranams to you for bringing the fragrance of Radhika. So, Yogendra Durga Magatir Madhusudanopri. Madhusudan Krishna is very, very difficult to realize. Even for the Yogendras, the great masters of mystic yoga. Yadyapi samadhishu vidirapi pasati navanakagramarichim. Even Lord Brahma with 4 heads, being the highest intelligence in the universe, when he goes into his deep samadhi for 1,000 years, he cannot see the light emanating from the tips of the toes of Krishna. And if for a moment he could see Krishna, then Brahmaji would think, my life is Kritartha, I am so successful. But that Krishna thinks that his life is successful when he catches the fragrance from the corner of the anchala of Srimati Radhika. Therefore, Tasya namostu brashobhanu bhavodishepi. I am bowing down, not to Radhika. I am not qualified even to bow down to Radhika. I am bowing down to the direction, the disha, in which Radhika is standing. Great humility in this prayer. So, Gandhan Madita Madhava. These are the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 qualities of Radharani's body. Now we come to the qualities of Radharani's voice. Sangita Prasara Bhikya. She's very expert at singing. One day, Sri Krishna was coming to Yavat, and he was coming very close to Yavat, and Radhika was in a garden, and she was singing in the Pancham Swar, in the 5th note, very, very beautifully. And when Krishna was approaching, and he heard that note, he became completely stunned. Just like a hunter goes into the forest and sings in the 5th note and enchants the deer, to catch a deer. So in the same way, Radhika was singing and Krishna became stunned. But at that moment, Abhimanyu was coming, Radharani's husband. So one Sakhi of Radhika said, "Oh Sakhi, you should stop singing now. It is not appropriate for you to be like a hunter and catching deer by your singing." But the real meaning is, the word for deer in Sanskrit is Krishna Sara. So Krishna Sara, she said this in case anyone will hear. If some of the in-laws will hear, you should not sing like this for catching deer in the forest. The chaste lady should not behave in this way. But the inner meaning was that Krishna was on his way to meet. And if Krishna had seen Abhimanyu coming, then he could hide. But because Radhika was singing so beautifully, Krishna forgot, who am I, where am I? And now there's a danger that he'll be caught. So on the instruction of her Sakhi, then Radhika, she stopped singing, Krishna came out of his samadhi and saw what was happening and quickly left. So in this way, Sangita Prasara Bhikya. Radhika is expert in singing. We'll speak a little bit more about Radhika singing also after. Sangita Prasara Bhikya Ramyavan. Ramyavan means, Radhika's voice is very sweet. The sound of her voice is charming. when Radhika is speaking with Krishna, then Krishna hears the words, and she said, and Radhika's syllables coming from her lips, they are so beautiful. Krishna said, "Oh Radhika, when you speak, then the cuckoo bird becomes mute. He loses his voice." The cuckoo is very famous for singing sweetly. But when Radhika speaks, then the cuckoos all become ashamed and they don't sing. And also, when you speak Radhika, then nectar faints. Because it's like nectar to the ears. But nectar cannot give joy in the presence of the syllables uttered by Shrimati Radhika. Vigatita Gadavasan. Why? Because she's so overwhelmed with praying that sometimes she cannot pronounce her words because she becomes choked. Nayanam Galada Shudaraya Vadanam Gad Gadarudayagi. So Ramyavan, then the next quality of Radhika's speech is Narma Pandita. She is very, very clever at making jokes. Very clever at making jokes. Krishna is clever, but Radhika can even defeat Krishna. Krishna will come to Radhika and say, "Oh Radhika, who is the guru and who is the student? Your eyes, you have very restless eyes. They move so quickly. Are your eyes the guru of the lightning, teaching lightning to move quickly? Or is the lightning the guru of your eyes, teaching your eyes to move quickly? Which one is it?" So then Krishna gave an answer. He said, "I think that your eyes are the guru of the lightning. Because the mind is faster than lightning, but your eyes have captured my mind." So Krishna is very sweet. But Radharani is more expert at joking. So then Radhika said to Sri Krishna, "Oh Krishna, who is the guru? You or your flute? Because your flute breaks the dharma of all the chaste women of Braja. It makes them break all the boundaries of religion. And you also, your sweetness makes the Braja gopis also break all the boundaries of religion. So, is it that you have taught your flute to reduce dharma in the world, or has your flute taught you to reduce the dharma in the world?" So then Sri Krishna said, "It is neither of those things. The gopis, they transgress dharma because they're not sati, they're not chaste. Don't blame me or my flute." So then Radhika says, "Yes, you are a very dharmic Purush, I know. You are a very dharmic Purush. She said, I have heard of one dharmic Purush. When he was only 6 days old, he killed a woman. That's how religious he is. Because when Krishna was 6 days old, he killed Putana. I have heard of one dharmic Purush who's always increasing dharma. As soon as he learned to walk, he was going from house to house stealing butter. Are you that dharmic Purush who's always increasing dharma?" I have heard of another dharmic Purush, that when the young unmarried gopis were bathing in the Jamuna, keeping their cloth on the bank, he came and stole all of their clothing and told them to come out from the water. Are you that dharmic person? So in this way, Radhika is very cleverly cutting all the words of Krishna. So she is Ramyavan Nama Pandita, very clever at making jokes. Then, these are the qualities of Radhika's voice. Sangita Prasara Vigya Ramya Nama Ramyavan Narma Pandita. Now Radharani's personal qualities. Vinita Karna Purna Vidagda Patamandita. Vinita means humility. Shrimati Radhika is very humble. One day she was sitting with her seniors and other family members, and they were talking, and just then Bhadrasakhi arrived there, and they saw Bhadrasakhi coming in the distance, and though Bhadrasakhi is actually of a lower status, because Radharani is the daughter of a king, Vrishabhanu Maharaj, so Bhadrasakhi is the lowest status of Radhika. And even though the elder persons in the room all looked at her and by their eyes, don't get up, stay sitting. But still, when she got up from her seat to to greet her and offer her a seat. So Radhika is very humble. Also, sometimes Radharani criticizes herself because sometimes she becomes upset with Krishna and she criticizes him with very harsh words. Karalika naptri krida koranga. You're just like a pet deer on the golden chain of Chandravali. You are Lampat Chudamani, the crest jewel of devotees. You are dirt, you are rascal. So Radhika may criticize Sri Krishna sometimes and send him away and not allow him to meet with her. But then afterwards she feels regret. And then the Sakis, they go to Krishna and they tell Krishna, oh, now please come and meet with Radhika. And then they bring the message to Radhika, oh Radhika, Krishna is just on his way, he'll meet with you just now. At that time Radhika folds her hands and she's crying. And she said, oh, why would Krishna accept me? I speak very harsh words and I was very cruel to him. Even my name is Radha. So yesterday we gave some different meanings of the word Radha. Do you remember? What was the first meaning of Radha we told yesterday? No, I don't know. Yes?
The river flowing backwards? The current.
That was not the first one. First we told that Radha, who Dhavati runs towards Krishna, impelled by Rag, deep love, her name is Radha. And Aradhyate iti Radha, that person who is worshipped by Krishna is called Radha. And Radha, whose life is the Aradhana, or everything only to please Krishna, so her name is Radha. And then we said how in praying makes everything crooked, everything in a reversal. Moves in a zigzag way like a snake. So the love is a current, always moving, and fresh at every moment. But when the current of praying, it goes backwards. So current is called Dhara. So that current of praying which becomes Dhara, becomes reversed, becomes Radha. So it indicates the praying kautilya, the crookedness of Radhika's praying. So here, there's another meaning, Radha Dhatu. In Sanskrit, one meaning is, oh, we gave another meaning yesterday, who remembers the last meaning? Huh? Lightning, yes. Because Krishna is Ganasham, like a fresh rain cloud. And the word Radha means lightning. Because the lightning looks beautiful on the chest of the rain clouds. So, Radha, in Sanskrit, Radhatu also means to injure. So when Radharani has criticized Krishna with harsh words and sent him away, and injured his heart, then Radharani in humility says, even my name is Radha, because I give injuries to the heart of Krishna. So our acharyas have commented, we never use this derivation, this etymology of the name Radha. We never say this. But Radhika, because her quality is Vinita Karana Puna, she is very, very humble. She takes this etymology, this derivative of her own name. Oh, I am Radha. Even my name says that I give injuries to the heart of Krishna. Alas, alas. So why is Krishna coming back to me now? With folded hands, Radharani tells to Lalita and Vishaka, Chitta Champakalata. Because Krishna is controlled by the love of you, O my Sakis. And because I am the object of your kindness, I am the object of your mercy. This is the only reason why Krishna is accepting me. So Vinita, Radharani is very, very humble. Vinita Karna Puna Vidagda Patamanvita. Now, the next quality, Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, Karna Purna, that Radhika is full of compassion. One day, one of Krishna's milking cows gave birth to a calf. Very sweet calf. And Krishna loves all of his cows and all of his calves so much. He comes and scratches them under the neck, embraces them. He does puja to them. He does dandavat pranam to them. And says the Gosukta, the prayers to the cows from the Mahabharata. There's Gosukta. Yes. Krishna does parikrama of the cows. Krishna loves his cows very much. So one day that newly born calf was sniffing around and trying to find some grass, and one sharp new sprout of grass poked the nose of that of that calf and was stuck in the and blood was coming. So when Radhika saw that Krishna's very beloved calf had a piece of straw stuck in his nose and some blood was coming, then only seeing this, at once Radhika's heart melted. And tears were flowing from her eyes. She took her own cloth and she ripped some cloth from her own cloth and pulled out the straw and began to wipe the blood from the nose of the calf. And then she took some kumkum and she put some kumkum, because the kumkum will help the wound heal. And put the kumkum on. So Radhika is called Karuna Purna, very soft-hearted and very full of compassion. So Vinita Karna Purna Vidagda Patamam Vitna Vidagda. Radharani is Vidagda. Vidagda means that Radharani is expert in all the arts. So expert in all the arts. That means she's expert in making garlands. She's expert in decorating the kunj. She's expert in cooking. So many preparations, new preparations every day. Just by the touch of her hand, they become fragrant and like nectar. And the Rasa Rishi has given her a benediction that whatever she cooks will taste more delicious than nectar, and whoever eats it will never be defeated. So because many demons are coming to Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda insisted that Radharani come and cook in her kitchen so that Krishna will be protected. So we never think that Krishna has defeated all the demons. We think that Radharani's cooking has defeated all the demons because of the blessing of the Rasa Rishi. So Krishna should not get too puffed up that he has killed the Aristasura and others, Vyomasura and others. She's expert at cooking. She's expert at gambling. She can defeat Krishna in the chapar, in the dice game. That's called Juta Krida. She can defeat Krishna in laughing and joking, that we've discussed. And she's especially expert at singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. You can see in the Rasa Leela, Krishna had disappeared from the Rasa Leela. And all Braj Gopis were burning in the fire of separation. But when Krishna reappeared there amongst them, Tasam Avirabhut Shauri Smayamana Mukhamboja Pitam Baradara Sragdi Sakshan Manmata Manmata. When Sri Krishna appeared there, then all Braj Gopis saw him. Those who were submissive, they approached him and massaged his feet and gave him betel. But Radhika was standing at a distance. She didn't go near him. Because she saw actually Chandravali and other gopis were submissive, they're approaching. She was thinking, why is he talking to them? Why is he accepting their service? So she was staying at a distance. But then the Braj Gopis put down an asana and invited Krishna to sit. And Krishna apologized and glorified Radhika. He said, Na parayam niravajya samyujam swasadu krityam vibudayo shapiva yamma bhajan durjaya geha sankala samvarshatadva pratiyatu sadhana. O my dear gopis, I cannot repay you for even one of your loving services. Even one service you have rendered to me, I could not repay you even if I served you continuously for the life of Lord Brahma, 311 trillion years. Because you have broken all the shackles of household life and transgressed all dharma only to serve me. Now this verse, though it seems to be spoken to all the gopis, it was especially spoken to Radhika. Why? Ya ma bhajan durjaya geha sankala. You can take this to mean you have left everything for me, or Radhika has left everything. Ya ma bhajan. Ma abhajan. Here the word ma is a name of Sarvalakshmi, the original Lakshmi. So here Krishna has hidden the name of Radhika because it was especially for her. So when Sri Krishna apologized to Radhika and glorified her love and said, I can never repay you, I am a rini, I am indebted to you forever. Why? Because even if I serve you, then you will serve me more. And your love is always increasing at every moment. So I can never repay you. What to speak of repay you, I cannot even pay the amount, how your love is increasing. It's called Chakravriti Vyaj in Hindi. Chakravriti means compound interest. You know? If someone borrows some money, then they have to pay the interest. So as long as they pay the interest, then the original capital will remain the same. But if they cannot pay the interest, then what happens? Then you have to pay the interest on the interest. And then the loan goes out of control. So Krishna said to Radhika, oh, what to speak of repay your love? Your love is increasing at every moment. How it's increasing? I cannot reciprocate with that. So I become in this situation of Chakravriti. I cannot even pay the interest on your love, let alone the original loving service. So I will be indebted to you forever. When Krishna spoke these words, then the heat of separation was completely vanquished. Just like if you have a lamp which is on fire and you put it out with some water, then the fire goes out. But if you touch it, it's still hot. So in the same way, when Krishna disappeared from the Rasa Leela, all Braj Gopis were burning in the fire of separation. And when Krishna came back, so then that separation was pacified. But there was still some heat. They were still feeling some heat. But when Krishna said to Radhika, oh, I can never repay you, please forgive me, then that last heat went away. So when that last heat of separation was gone, and all Braj Gopis were very satisfied, then the Sakhis told to Radhika, oh, come to the Rasamanya. And then Radhika stood up and she said, Pyari rasa vilasako moi adhika utsaha chale chale mili kunja ko kunja kabhavana kiraha. Oh Krishna, I am feeling great zeal to dance with you in the Rasa Leela. So come with me to the kunjas on the bank of Jamuna. And when Radhika said this, then Krishna said, Acho Pyari. And then what happened? The Ras Leela began. Shukadev Goswami says, Ratsutsavaha sampravrito Gopi mandala manditaha Yogeshwarena Krishnena tasam madhyetayortayo. He said, Rasutsava sampravrito. The Ras Leela began. The Ras Utsav, the festival of Ras, began. He did not say that Radha and Krishna and the Gopis began the Rasa Leela. No. He said the Rasa Leela began. Why? Because this Rasa Leela is a hit tattva. That means prem tattva. And prem itself, remember yesterday we were discussing, the prem has two aspects. Murta and amurta. Prem is an emotion. It is without a form. And prem also has a form, and the embodiment of the highest prem is Radhika. That is Murta, with a form, so without a form. So the Rasutsava is the Ras Leela itself. The prem without a form came then and began. So Rasutsavaha sampravrito Gopi mandala mandita Yogeshwarena Krishnena. Here Krishna is, the word Krishna is Krishnena. So that is in a Tritiya Vibhakti, the instrumental case in Sanskrit. And the Rasutsavaha is in Pratama Vibhakti, that is the nominative case, that is Karta, the doer. So the meaning is that Radha and Krishna are not doing this Rasa Leela. They are only the instruments. The Rasutsava, heat, prem tattva itself is doing everything. This is the meaning. Just like if there's a clockwork toy, then the clockwork toy is sitting there. But if a child will come and then wind up the toy and then put it on the table, then it begins to dance. The toy is not the toy is only the instrument, but the doer is the child who winds up the toy. So in the same way, Krishnera nachaya prem, Bhaktara nachaya, apina nachaya, tina nachaya katai. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami puts it. Prem makes Krishna dance. Prem makes Radhika and the Sakhis dance. And Prem itself is like a third person, and all three dance together. So at that moment, Krishna was not Karta the doer. Radhika and the gopis were not Karta the doer. But the Prem Tattva in the form of the highest Rasutsav appeared there and took charge of all of them, and they began to dance. Very beautiful. This dance is called Halishak. There's many different types of dance. This dance is called Halishak, where the hero is in the middle, and the ladies, the heroines, they stand around the outside and they hold hands with each other. So the gopis were thinking, Krishna is a Sham Sundara, he's a dark person, and you cannot trust any dark persons. So he already disappeared from the Ras Leela once. So we're not going to give him a chance to disappear again. So Gopi Mandala Mandita, they put Krishna in the middle and they all held hands, so that Krishna cannot get away. So then the Ras Leela began. So all were dancing, but after some time they wanted to see just Radha Krishna dance together, because then there will be competition of the arts. So here it's described, Vidagda Patamanvita. One of the qualities of Radhika is Vidagda. That is, she's expert in all the arts, and among these especially Gayan, singing, Vadya, playing musical instruments, and Nritya, dancing. They are prominent. So there are two types of dance. One is called Nritya and one is called Nritta. Nritya and Nritta. Is it clear? Nritya and Nritta. So in Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, he's the Shastra on dramatics there, Bharat Muni has said, Nrityam bhavasrayam geyam nittam talalayasrayam. The meaning is, in Nritya, then the dance is anukaran. That means an imitation or expression of emotions in the heart. So when the dance moves are expressing different emotions, like an actor. An actor has to physically and with his face show all the feelings which are in his heart. So that is called Nritya. So Nitya Bhavasya Geyam, one should know that Nritya is taking shelter of the bhav, the inner feeling in the heart, and it's expressed as a type of anukarma, imitation of the emotions outward. But Nritta Talalayasrayam, is the dance is taking shelter of Lay and Tal. So Tal means the rhythm. There are so many different types of tals you can learn from Madhav Das Brahmachari. All the tals, Eka Tal, Dhruv Tal, Kahava Tal, Darja Tal, whatever tals you want to. So there are so many tals, and each one of these tals has different matras. Some of them have 3 beats, 3 matras, 3 beats, 4 beats, 5 beats, 6 beats, 7 beats, 8 beats, 9 beats, 10 beats, 24 beats, 30 beats, 36 beats. So those who are very expert in music, they know how to use tal. And Lay means the speed, so sometimes they also change the speed. So when the dancing is the physical expression of the rhythms, then that is called the Nritta. Okay? So Nrittam Tala Layasrayam. So then Radharani, she began to dance, expressing great emotions and also expressing the various beautiful rhythms that Tunga Vidya was playing on the mridanga and other sakhis. Also the demigods came in the sky, they also tried to play along, but they're not as good as the gopis, so they give up. They can just beat drums to make a very spectacular and shower flowers, but they cannot follow the rhythms and the ragas that the gopis sing and dance with. So Shukadeva Goswami is describing Padanyasar Bhuja Viduptibir Susmita Bru Vilasair Bhajan Madhyais Chalakuta Patayi Kundala Gandalolai Swijan Muktya Kabara Rasana Grantaya Krishna Bhadvo Gayantastham Talita Ivata Mega Chakre Virejuhu. Very beautiful verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadeva Goswami is opening the beauty of the Rasalila. In Brajiri said, Patute Parda Ute. When the Harikatha begins, then the curtain rises. Listening to Harikatha is not a class in a college. Hearing Harikatha means the curtain rises on the stage of Krishna Lila and you watch. Like cinema. Shabda Brahma gives a vision in the heart of the pastime. So Shukadeva Goswami is seeing the Rasalila. This Rasalila he's seeing in his heart is turning to words, comes from his mouth, it goes in the ear of Parikshit Maharaj, and then that sound in the heart of Parikshit Maharaj becomes the Lila again. So it's direct transmission of Anubhav, realization. This is the real meaning of Harikatha. So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Padanyasa Bhuja Vidutibi. Padanyas means the placement of the feet. So the placement of the feet is exactly following the rhythms of the drumming. So in the Rasalila, then the gopis are using this rhythm. Taita taya, tata taya, drimiki drimiki, triki 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 tat, bhopatam bhopatam tam. This mantra. So Radharani's feet are dancing following this rhythm. Taita taya, tata taya. Very beautiful. And the art of the dance is they can isolate each part of the body. So one part of the body is moving but the other part is still. And it makes a very astonishing effect. So Radharani's feet are dancing according to this movement. So Pada Vyasa Bhuja Viduti Biya. And then when her legs become still, then her arms start moving to the beat. Tatataya, tatataya, drimiki, drimiki, triki, 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 tat, bo, patam, like this. And the rest of the body has become still. So, padanyasa, bhuja vidutibi, susmita, bhru, then susmita means the smile. Because in Bharatnatyam, you have to learn how to dance with your face as well. So then Radharani's whole body became still, and then her mouth started dancing. And then her eyebrows. Drimiki, drimiki, drimiki. Bhru vilasai. So in this way, Shukadeva Goswami is describing the beautiful dance of Radhika, which is enchanting Krishna and all the gopis, as each part of her body is dancing. Bhru vilasa. But Janmadhyais means her waist is very thin and she begins spinning around and leaning over. It looks as if her waist will break even from the dance. If you see how the hips move to all the rhythms. But Janmadhyais Chalakuta Pataye, and her dopata, her upper cloth, her anchal, she's swinging around and her anchal is like a flag behind. And Gundala Kundala Gandalola, and as she stops, then her earrings are swinging and it's making reflections, and now the reflections are dancing on her cheeks. Taita taya tatataya. Swidyan Mukya Kabara Rasana, and perspiration. Now usually if you dance very energetically, because it's COVID, we have to shut all the windows, there's no air in the room, everyone's sweating, because it's hot and it's hard work. But when Radhika is dancing, there's a cool breeze on the bank of the Jamuna in the moonlight. Her perspiration is the swayed. That means the sattvic bhav. Because of ecstatic love for Krishna, it's causing perspiration to appear on the forehead of Radhika. And Radhika's forehead is decorated with a pearl ornament called bandini. But when the pearls of perspiration appear on her, then they criticize the pearls of her bandini. Huh? Who are you? What are you doing here? Now you should retire, we have come. That means that the pearls of her perspiration are much more beautiful, even than the bandini pearl ornaments on her forehead. Swidyan Mukya Kabara Rasana Grantaya Krishna Vadgo. So generally people, they describe that the cloth, the gopis have tied their cloth tightly so it will not come off when they dance. But here, Kabara Rasana Grantaya, it is not Grantaya, that the cloth was tied tightly, Grantaya, that she's dancing so fast that the knots in her cloth begin to come loose. And the knot in her hair, Kabara means her ponytail, also comes open, and her hair is also scattering everywhere as she's dancing. Very, very beautiful. Kabara Rasana Grantaya Krishna Badho. Who is she? Krishna Badho. Krishna Badha. Vadu means wife. Badnati itu Vadu. That person who binds the hero with love is called a Vadu. So the gopis, they have bound Krishna with the rope of love. But they are not his, this is not Swakiya mood. Only it is that they have bound here. Badvo doesn't mean they're his wives, but they have bound him with their prema. And Badvo here is in the plural. Vadu, Badvaha is in the plural because Radhika herself has become all the other gopis who are dancing in the rasa room. Grantayro Kashtavado Gayantastham Tadita Ivata Megha Chakre Virejuhu. And in that dancing, now Radharani is singing Gayantas. Krishna. Krishna Badvo Gayanta means the Radhika and the gopis are singing the name Krishna. So Krishna is so beautiful that he's the ornament of his ornaments. He makes his ornaments more beautiful. But Krishna becomes more beautiful when he's with Radhika and Braja Gopis. And Braja Gopis become more beautiful when Krishna Vadbo Gayantya. When gopis do kirtan of Krishna, the names of Krishna, then they become even more beautiful. So here Radhika is described when she's dancing. Krishna Vadbo Gayantastam Tadita Ivata Mega Chakre Virejahu. That she is like a flash of lightning on a rain cloud. The meaning is that the lightning can never live without the cloud. So just as the lightning can never live or be separated from the cloud, so Radhika cannot live without Krishna and can never be separated from him. So her name Radha also means lightning. So Rupa Goswami here is saying, Banita Karna Puna Bidagda Patabandita. Patabandita means Radhika is very cunning. And but we'll describe that tomorrow. So for today, we have tried to describe how many qualities did we discuss today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then Sangita Prasagya, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 qualities we have told today. So the other 13 called 12 today, and 13 we'll tell tomorrow. Vare Vrindavana Vihari Lala ki Jai, Vare Saniwali ki Jai, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Extended Radhashtami Maha Mahotsava ki Jai.
Questions?
Yeah, we can have questions, but only on this subject. Because everyone is in that mood. If there's another type of question, we'll have it on another time. So we don't do the rasantara, the change of the melody. Yes, Maharaj.
You were talking about the symbols on Srimati Radharani's hands and feet. Came to my mind is to wonder whether she's also has all the 10 chakras on feet and hands, and if that's included somewhere in the symbols, or that's separate.
The wheel is there, a chakra is there, but the 10 chakras, there's not many chakras.
Sometimes if you see the picture of them, and there's usually some.
They're putting all 10.
I'm not sure, that's why I'm
yes,
asking.
it's not described like that. Because because there are 50, and each of the 50 is different. So if there were 10 of only one side, then it would be what? That would be 59.
But do we consider the Chakravarti like Vishwana Chakravarti? Do we give much importance to that?
Oh, absolutely. Very, very important. Chakra means wheel. But Varti means that which turns. That around which the wheel turns. So Chakravarti means the axle. Chakravarti is the center of the wheel, which is fixed, but everything is moving around that. So the name Chakravarti is also used for Radhika. Karnam muhur atei param Tava Brindavana Chakravartini Apike Keshi Ripayoryaya Bhavetsa Chatu Pratana Bhajanam Jana. In the end of Chatu Pushpanjali, Rupa Goswami addresses Radharani, oh, you are Brindavana Chakravartini. That means that you are the center of everything in Vrindavan, the center of the heart of everyone. Even for Madhya Yashoda, we cannot say that Madhya Yashoda loves Krishna more than Radharani. In Vrindavan, everything revolves around Radharani. So Radharani's name is Vrindavan Chakravartini. And the chakra, the wheel on the hand can have so many meanings. It can have many meanings. Because the chakra also gives spiritual knowledge, it gives spiritual light, spiritual wisdom. And the chakra symbolizes protection. For example, when Akrura came to Braj and he bowed down, then Krishna reached out with his hand. And by that he showed the mark of the chakra on his hand. And the indication is, oh, don't worry, I'll protect you. So chakra means protection, and it has so many other, some confidential meanings as well, which are not for the public distribution. Many of these things are also not being translated, so it's probably better some things are best left not translated. Well, my Gurudev has printed a book called Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and he gave many commentaries in there, from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on the holy name, and Gopal Guru Goswami's commentary on the holy name, Jiva Goswami's commentary on the holy name. But when he came to Raghunath Das Goswami's commentary, he just gave the Sanskrit and no translation. So there are some things there. It's better to realize that. Oh,
you know, you said there on the soul of Radharani there are 7, and on the other one 8 signs.
yes.
When I've seen pictures of the signs, there are on one foot there are 8, and on the other one
7 on the left and 8 on the right.
Yes.
And the 18 on the left hand and 17 on the right hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but in Jayavadama, you said written 7 and 8, on the soul. In Jayavadama.
Yes.
It said 7 on the one soul and 8 on the other one.
Yeah.
You also said this, because 35 plus 15 is 50.
Yes, right, yes.
So,
Yes, because what I have said is the same as in Jayavadharma, because actually Jayavadharma is based on, this section of Jayavadharma is based on Ujjwal Nilamani. And so today I was speaking mainly following the structure of Ujjwal and Nilamani in regard to the qualities of Radhika.
When we see pictures, then there's 8 and 11. It makes 90.
Yes, so thing is that we should try to follow what Rupa Goswami Vishwanath Thakur has done. It is not written anywhere that the Praman is some picture in a random book done by a random person. What is the Praman? Tasman Shastra Pramanam Te Karyakana Vijanata. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said Shastra is the Praman. And in Vedanta Sutra, Shastra Yonitvat. Sutes tu Shabdamulatvat. So everywhere. Amnaya Praha. This is the first teaching of Mahaprabhu. Don't try to learn about Siddhanta and the transcendental things by just looking at pictures here and there and random things. We should learn from Shastra, Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. This is our approach to the transcendental realm. So we'll sing one kirtan. Oh, you've been sitting for a long time, so you can play, but you can. Yari Rasa Vilasa Ko Moyadika Utsa Chalo Chale Mere Kunja Ko Kunja Bhavana Ki Raha Bari Vrindavan Lala Ki Jai Bari Sanwari Ki Jai 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 Sri Radharani Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,